I don't know, this like angle is like weird today. Do I do that now? Do I do that now? No one knows. In book, this is an adult. Why can I not talk? Hello book lovers, welcome back to the channel. My name is Steph, and in today's video, we will be doing my November Disney Villainous TBR game. So for those of you who are new and have never watched a Disney Villainous TBR game, I will leave the entire playlist linked down below so that you guys can understand all of the rules and how we play this game. I will of course start with my recap for October, and then I will get right on into November's TBR game. So we did end October's TBR game with 18 power. As you guys know, I said when I hit 30 power for Hades is when we will be switching out our villain. Again, I was able to read all of the books on my October TBR, so I will not individually let you guys know whether or not I read a book. So just know that all of the books that I am going to be recapping, I did read. For role number 1, we had a hero battle, which was with Pegasus, and their prompt was to start or finish a series. And the book that I read for this was Clown in a Cornfield by Adam Cesare. Role number 2 was a fate, and the book that was selected was The Library at Mount Shar. Role number 3, we did get a play a card, so the prompt for this was number in the title. And I am also adding 1 power, so we are at 19 power. And the book that I read for this was The Twisted Ones by T. King Fisher. Role number 4 was another play a card. The prompt on this play a card was a fantasy, and I'm also adding 2 power for this. So currently we are at 21 power. And the book that I read for this was Slewfoot by Brahm. Role number 5 was another hero battle. This time we were battling Hermes, and their prompt was a low rated book. And the book I read for this was Womb by Duncan Ralston, and I actually really enjoyed this book, so I am happy that the low rating just did not deter me from picking it up. Role number 6 was an anticipated release, and for this I read This Is Where We Talk Things Out by Caitlin Marceau. Role 7, another anticipated release, and for this I chose So Thirsty by Rachel Harrison. Role number 8 was another play a card, and the prompt for this play a card is POC rep, and also there was 3 power on this, so currently my total is sitting at 24 power. And the book I read for this play a card was Out There Screaming. This is an anthology of new black horror. It is edited by Jordan Peele, which is one of my all-time favorite directors. Role number 9, we did get another fate, and the book that was selected for this was Diavola by Jennifer Thorne. On to our additional roles. Role number 10 was a randomize, and the book that was selected was We Sold Our Souls by Grady Hendrix. Role number 11 was another anticipated release, and for this I did choose Natural Beauty by Ling Ling Huang. Role number 12 was another fate, and the book that was selected for this was The Me You Love in the Dark by Scotty Young. Role 13 was another randomize, and the book that was randomly selected was The Herd by Andrea Bartz. Role 14, another anticipated release, and for this I did choose Where He Can't Find You by Darcy Coates. And finally, our last role for the month of October was another randomize, and the book that was randomly selected was Clicked by Tamara Ireland Stone. So I did do 15 rolls in the month of October, and I am very happy that I was able to read all of the books. So we are currently sitting at 24 power, but without further ado, let's jump right on in to November's TBR game, starting with how many rolls we will be doing and roll number 1. Okay, so we are starting this month with 24 power, and we also ended the month over here, so we will be starting from right here. I am going to roll the 12-sided dice to see how many rolls we will be doing for the month of November. That says 4, so I am going to re-roll that, but whatever I get, I do need to take. That is a 9, so I will take a 9. Roll number 1, 4, 1 power, So for rule number 1, we did get One Power, which is an anticipated release. And the book that I am selecting for this is going to be Somewhere Beyond the Sea by TJ Klune. This has been one of my most anticipated releases all year. I have been waiting for this to be released, and this is the perfect time to read this book. For those of you who do not know, this is actually a sequel to The House in the Cerulean Sea, which was a hugely popular book a couple of years ago when it was released. This is the sequel to that, so I will not give you a real synopsis on this book, but I do believe that this one is following the perspective of Arthur, and I do believe that we are also following Linus as well, along with all of the children in this orphanage. Again, I don't want to give you too much on the synopsis because I do believe it is a direct continuation from book number 1. This is a fantasy novel. In book 1, we are basically following Linus, who gets tasked to go to this orphanage, and at this orphanage there are magical children that reside there, and he is basically part of an organization that goes there to see if these orphanages should be allowed to stay like working and functioning or if they should be closed down. TJ Klune always has like very heartfelt stories. He always has really good representation in his books, and I highly do recommend his books, and this is definitely one of my most anticipated. Roll number 2. 5. Random. Roll number 2 was a randomize, so I will insert the clip of me randomly selecting a book from my owned TBR. Okay, so we did get a random. So my TBR is currently sitting at 839. So let's see what we get. 556. A Merry Little Meet Cute by Julie Murphy. And as you guys saw, the book that was randomly selected was A Merry Little Meet Cute by Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone. This is actually perfect. It is now November. I am ready to get into the Christmas spirit, so I think this will be the perfect book to kind of bridge the like spooky season to the new like Christmas season. I have not heard anybody talking about this book, but reading the synopsis, it sounds so cute. It is going to be a romance novel where we are following our main character B, and B is a plus size like adult film star, and B is asked by this director if she wants to, instead of doing these like adult films, she wants to instead do like a family friendly Christmas movie. So her career kind of takes a completely different direction than what she was anticipating. And while filming this Christmas movie, she does realize that her co-star is actually going to be like her childhood crush. So this sounds like it is just going to be super cute, and it is going to be perfect for like the winter season. I'm very excited that this did get selected. Roll number 3. 3. Play a card. Most recent purchase. So for roll number 3, we did get a play a card, and the prompt on this play a card is my most recent purchase. And the book that I am selecting for this is The Exorcist by William Peter Blatty. I am participating in Sarah from Wicked Readings bingo horror like readathon. It's a year-long readathon where you have to complete a bingo board, and this is one of the books on that bingo board, so I am trying to incorporate as many of those books on my TBR as I can. I did just buy this book, and I haven't even seen this movie, which is very surprising because I do really enjoy horror movies, but I have never watched The Exorcist, so I'm excited that I get to read this book and then watch the movie. My copy actually doesn't even have a synopsis, so I don't actually know 100% what this book is about, but I am going to make a very educated guess and say that it does have to do with an exorcism and somebody who is possessed, and then they try to conduct an exorcism on this girl. And yeah, I don't really hear too many people talking about the actual book, but I know that the movie was super popular, so I am curious to be able to finally read this and then watch the movie. Roll number 4. 6. Play a card. An award-winning book. For role number 4, we did get another play a card, and the prompt on this play a card is an award-winning book. So the book that I am choosing for this is going to be New Kid by Jerry Craft, and it did win the Newbery Medal. I have heard nothing but good things about this book. I have wanted to read this book for a very long time, and I thought that getting the prompt of an award-winning book would be the perfect opportunity to finally put this on a TBR. So the only thing I know about this is we are following our main character, Jordan, who is a very talented cartoon artist, and he did want to go to a art school, but his parents instead send him to this very prestigious private school where he is one of the only kids of color that attend this school. So I have heard, again, nothing but good things about this. I've wanted to read it for so long, and I am very excited to get to this. Roll number 5. 3. Play a card. Animal on the cover. For role number 5, we did get another play a card, and the prompt on this play a card is Animal on the Cover. And the book that I'm choosing for this is going to be Bookshops and Bone Dust by Travis Baldree. There is a animal on the cover for sure, and this is actually a prequel to Legends and Lattes, which I did read and enjoyed, and I've heard that this one is even better, so I am very excited. This is a very cozy fantasy series. So in this we are following our main character, Viv, who gets injured while she is trying to battle this necromancer. So while she is healing, she does end up at this bookshop. And while at this bookshop, she does get kind of sent on a new adventure, and there is just a lot of things that are happening. This sounds so cozy and just absolutely perfect for this time of year, so I am very excited to get into this. Roll number 6. 4. Random. For role number 6, we did get another randomized, so I will insert the clip of me choosing another book. Okay, so we did get another random, so let us see what gets selected. Oh, 559. That is literally just above. Okay, The Snowman by Joe Nesbo. And as you guys can see, the book that got selected was The Snowman by Joe Nesbo. I have had this on my TBR for so long, so I am very happy that this did get selected. As again, it is giving me very much winter vibes, but I did look this up, and it seems like this is part of a complete series that I have not read anything from. I don't think I've read anything by Joe Nesbo, to be honest. And I really don't like reading books that are part of further series, even if you don't need to read the previous books in the series. But somebody did recommend me this book a very long time ago, and I still have yet to read it. So I am going to finally read it. So what I know about this is that we are following our main character, Jonas, who wakes up one day and realizes that his mother has gone missing, and the only thing that is left behind from his mother is a pink scarf that he gifted her for Christmas that is now being worn by the snowman that is out in his yard. This again is giving all of the Christmas and wintry vibes, so it does work out perfectly. But again, I am a little bit skeptical to read books that are part of much larger series. Roll number 7. 5. Hero. A strong main character. So for role number 7, we do have our first hero battle, and the hero that we will be battling is Hercules, and let us see how many roles we will be adding. So we will be adding 5 roles to our original 9 roles, and Hercules' prompt is a strong main character. So the book that I will be choosing for this is Something is Killing the Children, Volume 5. This is a graphic novel series. Again, I do talk about this quite a bit on my channel. I've really enjoyed every single volume that I have read. The strong main character in this is, of course, none other than Erica Slaughter. Essentially, she is just this badass bitch who can fight all of these monsters that are haunting the children in this town. And yeah, she was the first character I thought of when I pulled a strong main character. She is just such a badass bitch, and I am so excited to continue this series. Roll number 8. 1. Fate. So for roll number 8, we did get a Fate, and the 4 books that were randomly selected from my Goodreads for this Fate are Anita de Moint Laughs Last, Into the Drowning Deep, The Reformatory, and From the Desk of Zoe Washington. So I will insert the clip of the random wheel generator right here. And as you guys can see, the book that was selected is Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant. For those of you who do not know, and I actually did not know this until this year, Mira Grant is actually a pen name for Seanan McGuire, which I have started to read from and have really enjoyed her books. So the only thing I know about this is classified as like a horror fantasy book, and it has been pitched as Killer Mermaids, which just sounds absolutely perfect. Essentially, I believe that we are following a cast of characters that set out to the Mariana Trench to basically uncover secrets there, and they each kind of have their own purpose for going there. This sounds so good, and all of the people that I really trust their reviews have said that this book was something they didn't know they needed, but definitely surprised them. So I am very excited to jump into this, and Killer Mermaids just sounds absolutely perfect for me right now. And finally, the last of our regular rolls, roll number 9. 1. Random. And finally, the last of our regular rolls, roll number 9, was again another randomize. So I will insert the clip of me randomly selecting a book. Okay, so we did get another random. Let's see, 204. 204 is The Neighbor Favor by Christina Forrest. And as you guys saw, the book that got selected was The Neighbor Favor by Christina Forrest. This is actually perfect because I have heard such good things about Christina Forrest and this whole series. I don't believe that this is number 1 in the series, but I also don't think that you need to read them in order. I just think that they follow different sisters. I am kind of in the mood for like lighthearted romance right now, so this actually comes at a perfect time. So the only thing I know about this is that we are following our main character, Lily, who is kind of just seeking more from her life and her employment specifically. She does want to be a children's book editor, but is currently just stuck in like the nonfiction realm. She does email back and forth with a fantasy author, and she doesn't know it at the time, but the person that she is emailing is actually her neighbor, Nick. So this sounds like it is going to be like a friends to lovers type romance, and I am all here for it. Now on to the additional rolls, roll number 10. 5. Play a card. Pet pick. For roll number 10, we did get another play a card, and the prompt on this play a card is definitely my all-time favorite prompt that I do have, and that is pet pick. So the way that I did this pet pick is I randomly selected 2 books from my owned TBR, and then I also put 2 books that I was very interested in reading, and I put them on the floor and let my dog Lucy choose which book that I'm going to read. So I will insert the clip of Lucy choosing a book. Okay, so these are the 4 books that were selected. 2 of them I want to read. So The Luminous Dead and The Ministry of Time I just chose. And then the other 2 I put through a random like number generator from my TBR. So those were the 2 that were selected. So I have my handy dandy helper right here, and we'll see what she picks. Okay, it looks like Ministry of Time. She is going in like order, so Ministry of Time it is. And the book that Lucy chose was The Ministry of Time by Colleen Bradley. This was one of the books that I actually wanted to read. I don't know why. I am usually not a like sci-fi girly, but this book has just been speaking to me lately. I feel like I'm going to really enjoy this book. For some reason, I have no idea why. It is just giving me those vibes. The only thing I really know about this is that I've heard that this has a little bit of a romance in it, and we are also following the idea of being able to see whether or not time travel is actually feasible or not. So that sounds so good. The back of this book also, I am going to read what it says because it does sound super intriguing. It says, a boy meets a girl, the past meets the future, a finger meets a trigger, the beginning meets the end. So I am 100% intrigued by this. Again, I am not a sci-fi girly, so I don't know exactly how I'm going to get on with this one, but I am very excited for it. Roll number 11. 3. Fate. So for roll number 11, we did get another fate, and the 4 books that were selected for this fate randomly were The Wedding People, The Invocations, Loud in the House of Myself, and All Hollows. So I will insert the random wheel generator right here. And as you guys see, the book that was selected is The Invocations by Crystal Sutherland. I just picked this up and I am super excited to get to it. I have heard nothing but good things about this. It is a YA, so again, a little nervous for that as YA hasn't been 100% doing it for me lately. So the only thing I know about this is we are following 3 girls, and one of the characters' sister has died, and she essentially has made it her life's mission to try and reconnect with her dead sister and essentially kind of bring her back from the grave. There is also a witch in here. It says that there is a supernatural killer as well. And yeah, this just sounds so good. I would have really enjoyed to read this in October, but I am just going to continue on my like spooky reads journey into November, and I am very excited to finally get to this. Roll number 12. 5. 3 power. For roll number 12, I did get 3 power. So the anticipated release that I am putting on this TBR is going to be Our Wives Under the Sea by Julia Armfield. I have had this on my like want to read for so long. It has been an anticipated book for me for a very long time. So I am very excited to finally pick this up. This is a like contemporary horror novel, and I have heard that it is very strange, so it does not work for everybody. But essentially we are following 2 characters, Miri and Leah. Leah goes on a deep sea mission that ended up in catastrophe, and when she returns to her wife Miri, she is just not the same person that she knew. So this sounds like it is going to have a lot of deep messages. It's going to be very hard hitting, and it may follow like Leah's descent into darkness. So I am very curious to see how I feel about it. Roll number 13. 3. Random. For roll number 13, we did get another randomize, so I will insert the clip of me choosing a book. Okay, this month has been full of randoms, which is nice. So let us generate another number, and that is 291, which is not too far. 291 is Never Never by Colleen Hoover. And as you guys saw, the book that was randomly selected is Never Never by Colleen Hoover and Taryn Fisher. This book I have no real desire to read. I thought that this was a new release when I picked it up at the bookstore, but I just realized that this was actually released a long time ago before Colleen Hoover was like super popular, and they just did a re-release of this. I haven't really enjoyed anything by Taryn Fisher. And I have also heard that this is more so on the YA side of things. It is broken up into 3 different parts. So there were originally 3 novellas written for this story, and then this is just the bind up of those 3 novellas. So this sounds like we are following 2 main characters, Charlize and Silas, and they have been best friends for a very long time, but then their memories kind of disappear and fade, and they are complete strangers to one another. So they have to figure out kind of what has happened, and I'm not sure exactly how that works if they couldn't even remember each other. I'm probably reading the synopsis wrong because that doesn't really make sense to me in my brain. I'm not 100% excited about this, but I actually am somebody who does enjoy Colleen Hoover's books. I know that she is not for everybody, but I actually don't mind them. Verity is one of my all-time favorite books. Yeah, I'll be very curious to see how I feel about this because I'm just really not in the mood, and Taryn Fisher like just really hasn't worked for me in the past. And finally, our last roll for November, roll number 14. 4, 1 power. And finally, our last and final roll for the month of November, roll number 14, I did get 1 power. So the anticipated release that I will be reading is going to be The Frozen River by Ariel Lawn. This I have been super excited for ever since I hauled it from Book of the Month. I've been constantly skipping my hold at the library, so I thought that it was the perfect time to finally put this on the TBR and actually borrow it from Libby. This again gives me all of the winter vibes. So this is a historical fiction novel. It does have a very interesting premise. So in this, we are following our main character, Martha, who is a midwife and healer, and there is a body that is found in this frozen river. So she is called to essentially determine the cause of death. So she does determine that this is a homicide, but then there is another character that basically undermines what she is saying and is saying that this is actually an accidental death. So she kind of goes on this journey to uncover the truth of what happened. This has been getting so many good reviews, so I'm very excited to get this on the TBR, and again, it is giving me all of the winter vibes. Okay, so we did end this month with 29 power, which means that if I am able to complete even one of these play cards, that I will have hit my 30 power. So I will play as Hades for next month, which will be December, but going into January, I will definitely be playing as a new villain, so start thinking about what villain you guys would like to see starting in January. That is it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you did make it to the end of this video, put any of the clock emojis to represent Lucy's book pick, which was The Ministry of Time. If you did like today's video, you can also hit that thumbs up like button to let me know. And as always, if you are new here, I would love to have you stick around. So please hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys all in my next one. Bye.